have showed up in this second half. They've scored 3 unanswered tries against a Scottish side that just took their eye off the ball when they felt the game was done. Wales await the visit of England to Cardiff. Scotland, well, they have to go and try and spoil the party of the French in Paris, in which England and Ireland will be hoping they do. Full time at Murrayfield after a crazy game, really. Scotland 35, Wales 29.
Dave, Alan, thanks very much. So another defeat where Wales can take heart, really, under Matt Sherritt. 2 points on the board as well, within striking distance of avoiding the wooden spoon, and certainly far a happier tale than was the case at half-time, where they were 20 points down. But they have won that second half by 21 points to 7, Andrew Trimble. What would we say of Scotland after all that?
Scotland will be disappointed. I think they'll be happy they got the job done, but I think from the story's probably more Wales. The fact that they were able to manage that consistency and bring in a little bit of the feel-good they brought last week. Even in Paris, we've seen Wales perform with a lot of pride and a lot of character. Last week against Ireland, we saw a lot of belief. They brought in that belief. They probably didn't really have that belief today, but they still hung in the game, showed a lot of character, and they were stubborn. And that's kind of the building block for Matt Sherritt here, I would imagine. And they've showed, I think that's a performance that they can be pretty proud of. Yeah. And it showed they're going to be competitive again, and they're going to continue that slow. It'll be still a slow rebuild, but that trajectory is still on for Wales. Yeah.
It is hard to know what to make of the Scots, to what extent they took the foot off the pedal or otherwise, Matt. I mean, are you giving Wales most of the credit in that second half, or are you looking at Scotland and saying, fellas, come on?
Bit of both. Well, Wales definitely played a lot better rugby, but Scotland definitely let them back into the game. There's no two ways about that. And Scotland got over. You've got to give Wales credit. Scotland got over the line twice and couldn't score the try. But look, it's just like it's almost. I was joking when I said it. Yeah. It was like Cardiff last year. And they just score these points, they get ahead, and then they lose concentration.
So is that an indictment of them, or semi-understandable?
No, it's an indictment. Great teams, good teams go. That's Scotland's challenge. We saw in the first half, as we've seen for the last 4 or 5 years, it's a team capable of scoring points, but they lose concentration, or they come off the mental boil and allow other teams either to win or come back into the game. And they certainly let Wales in. And at international level, if you invite other teams into the game, they will come and they will take their opportunity.
Because there were, I wouldn't say question marks over Gregor Townsend in a kind of serious his position under threat kind of way, but obviously it hasn't been a great Six Nations. And at half-time you would say, well, that's more like it. But I would think now at full-time, not going to be an ecstatic reaction to that performance.
No, they're not at all. Now, I think I think it's unfair for us to bash Scotland too much. Yeah. And it's equally unfair to say that that was a spirited Wales performance in the second half. These Wales played some really, really good rugby. And had they played that sort of rugby in the first half, they would have had a chance of winning. Scotland, yes, they did take the foot off the pedal. And at half-time, and we all said it in here that they should go out and blow Wales away and score another 15, 20 points. So, without being too cliched with it, it was definitely a tale of two halves where, I think both sides will be disappointed.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. And I think we've got to stop saying, that was a spirited display by Wales. It's the 16th loss. This is the top end of the game. You can't say, it's not the under-8s. Listen, boys, you tried really hard. That's great. Rub the heads. See you next week. Here's a chocolate, everyone. Turn to training on Tuesday. This is international rugby, 16 in a row. Yeah. And they were beaten at half-time.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. They were beaten at half-time.
The damage was done.
Yeah. And when we say about Scotland deserve all the credit they won. I'm saying from a Scottish point of view, for their progression as a team, to fulfil the talent we know they have, they can't play games like that. Yeah. They've got to, as Rob said, it's a terrible thing to say, but you twist a knife. Yeah. You've got them in a position to win. You don't let...
Like the French did to Italy last week. So no one's happy.
Yeah.
They're both awful.
Apart from the French today, no one's happy. Exactly.